So today I'm at the London Wine Trade out at Exhibition in the Docklands, and I'm here today on the Riedel glassware stand with Matt Knight to talk to us a little bit about how the size and shape of the wine glass affects the way that the wine can taste and also the way that the wine can smell as well. So we're going to be talking through a bit about how that all works. But firstly, normally I expect the wine glass to look like that on the stand. The ones we're going to be using today don't seem to have that. Can you explain?
Absolutely, yeah. This range is called the O range, and it was designed by Maximilian Riedel a few years back. Really to as a bit of fun and as more sort of a practical glass for certain occasions as well. So the story goes obviously that when he moved into his sort of loft apartment, the cupboards weren't big enough to fit in the stem glasses, so he designed a range which was stemless. But the philosophy behind Riedel remains exactly the same, whether it's a stem glass or one of these glasses. As you can see, both bowl shapes are exactly the same, literally just without the stems, and the taste and the smell of the wines remains exactly the same. So these are designed just for a bit of fun as much as anything else.
But they're dishwasher proof as well.
Absolutely. Well, all our glasses are dishwasher safe, but obviously with these glasses being much shorter, they fit into the top of the dishwasher much easier as well.
Brilliant. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do today, we've got 4 different glasses. We're going to have a look at 4 different wines and show the wines in both what we perceive to be the right glass and also the wrong glass as well. See what difference it makes both on the nose and on the palate. So we'll start off with a Sauvignon Blanc. Now with this particular style of wine, there were sort of 2 factors to bear in mind when designing this particular glass. Firstly, it's a very delicate wine on the nose, so by having a much smaller bowl shape, just helps to hold the nose within the glass much better. And then secondly, on the palate, it's quite an acidic style of wine, so by having a very small aperture to the glass, when you come to drink out of it, you'll find that the wine gets funneled right down the centre of your tongue. Your tongue naturally has to form a U shape to guide it down, which is perfect. And it keeps the wine away from the parts of the mouth which pick up acidity, which tend to be at the sides. So you get a really good nose on with this particular glass. So you get that sort of fresh crispness, that sort of green apple gooseberry sort of nose coming through within that. And on the palate, that's why you get that freshness sort of carries on into the palate as well. The fruit comes through as well. Now, if we try this same wine in another white wine glass, this is a Chardonnay glass. Okay. Now, much larger bowl shape, and the nose just disappears. It's too big a bowl shape for this particular style of wine. It can't hold the nose into the glass, so it sort of disappears. And on the palate, okay, not so good there, because much wider aperture to this particular glass, so the wine floods right across the whole of your palate, so it falls off the sides of your tongue and hits, and suddenly you pick up much more of the acidity within the wine, which then tends to mask the fruit that's within the Sauvignon. So that crispness and that sort of green apple gooseberry taste sort of disappears altogether because there's far too much acidity sort of coming through within that. Okay. The second wine we're going to try a Chardonnay. We actually have sort of 2 Chardonnay glasses within our collection. On the one side we have a Chablis style of glass, which is a much smaller bowl shape. That's designed for sort of unoaked Chardonnays, much more sort of steely in character sort of style of Chardonnay. This glass here is designed for much bigger oaked style of Chardonnay. So you need a much bigger bowl shape for these styles of wine, just to allow firstly the nose to open up on there. And you get that sort of real tropical fruit taste smell coming through within that. And on the palate, by having a much wider aperture, it just allows the wine to flood right across, which is exactly what we want with this particular style of wine. Which is great, because exactly what you get there is you get a full array of flavours coating the whole of your tongue. So you get the oak, the creaminess and the fruit all coming out in a nice sort of balanced way, which makes the wine taste exactly as the winemaker would want it to try. If you try the same wine in the first glass we used, which what people think was a sort of typical white wine glass, firstly on the nose, much more muted, much less nose coming through on that, because it's too small a bowl shape for this particular style of wine. The wine can't really open up at all on the nose. On the palate, because the glass is designed for the wine to go right into one part of the mouth, right down the centre, what you're getting on there is only sort of one of the flavours sort of coming through on the palate, which will tend to be the dominant flavour, which in this case will be the oak. So you're getting a very oaky taste on the mouth, which again masks the fruit. So that sort of tropical creaminess doesn't really come out when you try it from this particular shape of glass.